Welcome to the summary of Episode 7, Wonder. February 2nd, 2017. The alien introduces herself as Coriander from the planet Tamaran. After adjusting her translation device, she says that she is overjoyed to meet the heroes of Earth and is in desperate need of their help. The other four look at each other, unsure how to respond. The young alien says that during slumber, an Earth woman in a dark covering appeared to her and told her she would find assistance in this particular date, place, and time. She startles them by declaring them all friends for life and warmly kissing them one by one. Roy says that they'd better get the alien and her ship back to their headquarters as quickly as possible. Coriander agrees and adds that she will require an extended period of sleep after her voyage. February 5th, 2017. The Justice League representatives are speaking before the General Assembly of the United Nations about the use of the Phantom Zone to house criminals unsuited to any prisons. As Hal starts to speak, a band of supervillains busts in and begins to attack the UN ambassadors. Hal and Superman move the civilians to safety as the other Leaguers battle the villains. Fairly quickly, the villains are defeated and the UN ambassadors are singing the praises of the League. Opening credits. February 6th, 2017. On his talk show, G. Gordon Godfrey sarcastically opines that it seems awfully convenient that a group of easily defeated villains attack exactly when the League is trying to persuade the UN about the dangers of supercriminals. He accuses the League of staging the event. Calderon regains consciousness to find himself imprisoned in Black Manta's lair. His father is there and reluctantly explains that in order to rejoin the light, he must kill his son. Calder asks Manta why he is so desperate to be included in the light, especially when they didn't even attempt to rescue him. Manta explains that as part of the inner circle, he can influence decisions and protect the environment, which the others don't care about. He reveals that the reason he adopted his Black Manta identity in the first place was to fight against the pollution and environmental recklessness of the surface world. He gives his son paper to write his final words, which Manta promises to deliver to his friends. As Wonder Woman and Wonder Girl prepare to land in Themyscira, Diana explains how grateful she is that Hawkwoman could take her place at the UN. Cassie excitedly says how much she is looking forward to the Festival of the Olive. Diana says she is proud of Cassie and happy to be including her in the traditions of the Amazons. They land and greet Diana's mother, Hippolyta, and the captain of the guard, Arisia. A few moments later, a booming voice announces that Wonder Woman must surrender or the entire island will be under attack. Revealing itself from an invisibility screen, a giant gorilla steps out of a hovercraft and announces himself as Solovar. He says that Wonder Woman attacked and killed one of his kind and must take responsibility. Hippolyta scoffs at Solovar's accusation as other apes disembark, but he says there is recorded evidence which he shows on a device. He adds that all of his kind have powerful telepathic powers that confirmed Wonder Woman's psychic signature as well, though he notes that Themyscira must have a psi shield since his abilities are not working. Diana is stunned. Cassie asks what will happen to her, and Solovar says she will be imprisoned for life in his kingdom. Diana offers to surrender, but Hippolyta refuses and orders the apes to leave. On Solovar's command, the apes attack. A few hours later, Manta returns. Calder tells his father that if killing him is the only way to prevent environmental destruction, he accepts it and forgives him. Manta prepares a laser scalpel to issue a quick death. Manta hesitates, says that he can't do it, and releases his son, saying he'll find another way to safeguard the environment against the light. The Amazons, led by Arisia, fight fiercely against the apes. Solovar's strength is a match for Diana and Cassie, and he subdues them. The king raises his fists to deal a fatal blow to the Amazon queen when Diana pleads with him for mercy. Solovar hesitates, lowers his fists, and is suddenly run through from behind with Arisia's sword. Diana looks around and sees a number of dead Amazons and apes. The remaining apes gather their fallen and leave. As Diana tends to her mother, Cassie looks at the device that was left behind. She announces that Wonder Woman is not the one in the footage, by noting that this imposter did not use the lasso, must have had a psychic defense which Diana didn't possess, and left the murder scene by leaping, not flying. Diana concludes that Devastation must have been impersonating her, but is baffled as to why the Light would want to start a war between the Amazons and Solovar's kind. In the closer, the Light congratulates the Brain and Steppenwolf for their shape-shifting friend whose impersonation of Wonder Woman was convincing enough to deceive the telepathic inhabitants of Gorilla City. Luthor adds that he will make sure that the footage of Wonder Woman is leaked to the media to sully her reputation. Steppenwolf adds that the Light should be grateful that his initiative has accelerated their plans, and then leaves the meeting. Vandal Savage tells the rest of the Light that they will be removing that irritant when the time is right. Clarion says he'll be happy to do it. So just a few comments on the 7th episode. The only progression with our fledgling Titans group is the brief introduction of Starfire, who shares that she is also connected to Raven. Starfire's innocence is an appealing character trait, and her presumption of instant friendship is meant to be endearing. My favorite DC comic ever was the original run of Justice League Europe, and I collected every issue, so it's a source I frequently dip into when I was coming up with plots and characters for my Young Justice. The Injustice League who attack at the UN were so bumbling and incompetent in Justice League Europe that they even gave up on villainy for a time and were relocated to the South Pole as Justice League Antarctica. No surprise here that the League defeats them easily. By the way, that's Big Sur, Clue Master, Major Disaster, Multi-Man, and Clock King. It always seemed clear that Black Manta was a different type of villain from the rest of the Light, capable of compassion and nobility at times. I added here the backstory of his motivation being the protection of Earth's environment against the rest of the Light and their corporate expansion. Once Calder understands this, he forgives his father and accepts his own death as a willing sacrifice. That, in turn, is what compels Manta to decide that he is incapable of murdering his own son, despite the consequences. Wonder Woman was barely in the first 2 seasons of Young Justice, and Wonder Girl's Season 2 appearances were limited. I thought a team-up episode on Themyscira would be fun. Hippolyta, Diana's mother, is the stern but loving warrior queen, and Arisia, a villain in the original Justice League cartoon, is the queen's deadly bodyguard. When Solivar from Gorilla City arrives on the island, he has a legitimate grievance. He seeks justice, but isn't overtly warlike, attempting a diplomatic solution first. Similarly, Hippolyta is reluctant to fight, but can't simply hand over her beloved daughter. Of course, it's tragic that Solivar and most of his gorilla troops die, and only after does Cassie discover the un-Wonder Woman-like behaviors in the video footage. Too little, too late. Finally, the Light continues with their plan to dismantle the League's reputation and shows that they've applied the shape-shifting science acquired by Steppenwolf in a frighteningly effective way. It's also clear that the Light is getting tired of Steppenwolf's presumptive, arrogant attitude. There's not much the likes of Luthor or Queen Bee can do, but how does a Lord of Chaos like Clarion measure up to a powerhouse from Apocalypse? Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and look for many more episodes to come. Also, please leave comments about what you did or didn't like and why. Take care.